Robert Louis Stevenson was born in Edinburgh, Scotland in 1850. He was a writer who became famous for his books, especially for his stories about adventure. Stevenson loved to read from a very young age. He read many books about the sea, pirates, and faraway places. As a child, he liked to imagine he was living in these exciting worlds. Stevenson's father was an engineer, and he wanted Robert to follow in his footsteps. But Robert did not want to become an engineer. He loved writing. He wanted to become a writer, but his family did not understand. They thought it was not a good idea to be a writer because it was not a very safe job. Still, Stevenson decided to follow his dreams. When Robert was a young man, he went to university to study engineering. However, he did not enjoy studying it, and he spent most of his time writing. After finishing university, he knew that he would not work as an engineer. He decided to become a full-time writer. But it was not easy for him. He often had health problems, and it was hard for him to find enough money to live. Despite these difficulties, Stevenson continued to write. He believed that writing was his true calling, and he worked hard to make it his career. Stevenson's first big success as a writer came when he wrote a book called Treasure Island. This book is one of the most famous adventure stories in the world. It tells the story of a young boy named Jim Hawkins, who finds a treasure map. Jim goes on a dangerous journey to find the treasure. Along the way, he meets many interesting characters, including Long John Silver, a pirate who is both friendly and dangerous. The story has many exciting moments, and it is loved by children and adults alike. The characters in the book, especially Long John Silver, have become famous and are remembered in popular culture. Treasure Island is known for its themes of adventure, loyalty, and betrayal. The book has been adapted into many movies, plays, and cartoons over the years. After the success of Treasure Island, Stevenson continued to write many other famous books. One of his most famous books is The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. In this story, there is a kind doctor, Dr. Jekyll, who has a dark side. This dark side comes out when he becomes Mr. Hyde. Mr. Hyde is a bad person who does terrible things. The story is about the struggle between good and evil inside people. Many people like this book because it shows how one person can have two very different sides to their personality. It also explores the idea that people are not just one thing, they can be both good and bad. Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde has had a lasting impact on literature and has influenced many other works. Stevenson wrote many more books, including Kidnapped and The Black Arrow. These stories also focus on adventures and exciting journeys. They are full of action, and they make readers feel like they are part of the story. In Kidnapped, the main character, David Balfour, is kidnapped and must find his way back home. It is a story of survival, bravery, and friendship. The Black Arrow is another adventure story set during the time of the War of the Roses in England. Stevenson's ability to create exciting and dangerous situations kept readers hooked. Stevenson's stories are famous because they have great characters and exciting plots. But it is not only the adventure that makes his books interesting. He also writes about good and bad people, friendship, courage, and the choices that people make. His books are not just about adventures, but also about understanding human nature. Stevenson was able to explore deep themes in his stories, even though they were often set in thrilling and dangerous situations. His works are still studied by students and loved by readers, because they are not just fun to read, but also meaningful. In his life, Stevenson traveled to many different countries. He spent time in places like France, the United States, and the South Pacific. He loved to travel because it helped him learn new things and gave him more ideas for his stories. He wrote many of his books while he was living in different countries. Stevenson enjoyed meeting new people and experiencing new cultures. He was always curious about the world around him. Traveling also helped Stevenson with his health problems, as he often sought warmer climates to feel better. His experiences in different countries gave him inspiration to write some of his best stories. One of the places that was important to Stevenson was the island of Samoa, in the South Pacific. He moved there in the 1890s, where he spent the last years of his life. He loved the warm weather and the beauty of the island. He also enjoyed the peaceful life there. He made many friends in Samoa and felt happy to live there. Stevenson continued to write, even though he was far from home. His home in Samoa was a large house called Veilama, and he often invited visitors to stay with him. Stevenson loved the quiet life in Samoa and was very interested in the island's culture and people. Stevenson did not live for a very long time. He passed away in 1894, at the age of 44. Even though he died young, his books live on. Today, people around the world still read his stories, and they are still loved by many. His works have been translated into many languages, and they continue to inspire writers and readers. Stevenson's books have become a part of world literature, and they are studied in schools and universities. His ability to write thrilling adventure stories with deep meaning has made his work timeless. Stevenson's life shows how important it is to follow your dreams. Even though his family wanted him to become an engineer, he followed his heart and became a writer. His books are famous because they are exciting and interesting, but they also teach us about people and their choices. Stevenson believed that people should follow their passion and do what makes them happy, just like he did. His life and work remind us that it is possible to succeed even when faced with difficulties. Robert Louis Stevenson's stories have been enjoyed by generations of readers, and they continue to inspire young and old people today. His love for adventure and his curiosity about the world made him one of the best writers of his time. Even though he faced many challenges in his life, he never gave up on his dreams, and that is why his books are still loved and read by so many people around the world. Stevenson's work continues to bring joy to readers and inspires new generations of writers and adventurers. Through his stories, Robert Louis Stevenson has left a lasting legacy that will continue for many years to come.